Chapter 1. $3,000 to Mercedes. A farmer's son who bought Volvo in cash. That's not a typo. That's not a concept car sitting behind velvet ropes at some auto show, waiting a decade for a production date that never comes. That is a real car rolling off a real assembly line. Right now, a car you could theoretically drive from New York to Chicago and barely put a dent in the tank. Sit with that number because the average new car sold in America today gets somewhere between 28 and 35 mpg per gallon. The Toyota Prius, the car that basically invented the phrase fuel efficient in the minds of an entire generation, gets around 57 in the city. This engine nearly doubles it. It doubles the Prius. The most famous fuel sipper on the planet doubled. And here's the part that should make Detroit's stomach drop. The company that did it isn't Toyota. It isn't Honda. It isn't Ford. It isn't General Motors. It's a Chinese company called Geely. And if you've never heard that name in your life, good. That's exactly the point. Because by the end of this video, you will never forget it. If this is the kind of story that grabs you, the shift that nobody notices until it's already too late to catch up, hit that like button and subscribe right now. Because here's what makes this one almost impossible to believe. The man who built this company started with $3,000 and a factory making refrigerator parts. The engine he ended up building does something Formula One. Engineers have burned billions of dollars chasing and still can't fully crack. And this technology, the record-breaking part, is already heading into cars sold in Europe and America, wearing badges you recognize, sitting in dealerships you drive past every single week. By the time this is over, you'll understand why every major automaker on Earth is quietly, nervously watching this man's next move right now. Today, let's go back to where it starts. A small farming village in Jiang Province, China. That's where Li Shufu was born, the son of a farmer in a place where nobody was dreaming about car engines or world records. Nobody was dreaming about much of anything. In 1986, he borrowed roughly $3,000 from his family and opened a tiny factory. Nothing glamorous. He made parts for refrigerators. Small, functional, forgettable work. But he was obsessed with building things, and he had one quality, one that would define everything that came after. He refused to stop. By 1994, he'd clawed his way into motorcycles. Then, in 1997, he made the announcement that made an entire industry laugh out loud. He said he was going to build cars. No experience, no factory built for it, no engineering pedigree, no major investors, no industry connections, nothing. And when reporters pressed him, asked him how hard building a car actually is, he reportedly just shrugged it off. A car, he said, is just 4 wheels and 2 couches. The insiders shook their heads. They laughed. They moved on. Li Shu did not move on. In 2001, his company Geely became the first private Chinese company ever licensed to manufacture automobiles in China, a historic milestone all on its own. But he was just getting warmed up. In 2007, he wrote a letter to Ford Motor Company, offered to buy Volvo. Ford ignored him completely. Didn't even bother with a real answer. So he showed up at the Detroit Auto Show in 2008 and tried again in person. This time, Ford brushed him off again, waved him along, and here's where the quality that defines him turns into something dangerous. He came back in 2009, more prepared, more serious. And in 2010, the farmer's son from Jiang Province walked out of Ford's own headquarters with Volvo in his pocket. $1.8 billion in cash. Let that land. Volvo was a European institution. Decades of prestige, safety, engineering pride. And a Chinese company that Detroit couldn't be bothered to answer just bought it outright. The people who laughed didn't just lose the argument, they handed him the keys. And he still didn't stop. In 2018, he bought nearly 10% of Daimler, the company that owns Mercedes-Benz, making him the single largest individual shareholder in one of the most iconic luxury brands on the planet. Think about the arc of that. The kid from the farming village, the one who got laughed at for saying he could build a car, became the biggest shareholder in Mercedes-Benz. Today, Geely owns Volvo, Polestar, Lotus, Lynk & Co., and a whole portfolio of brands spread across multiple continents. The hustle is real. The empire is real. And that same relentless engineering ambition is exactly what produced the engine we're about to talk about. Chapter 2. The EV dream nobody lived. Charging, cold weather, and $20,000 battery bills. But to understand why this engine is a bomb going off, you have to understand the problem it just solved. Because everyone told us the answer was already here. Electric cars were supposed to be the clean, simple, obvious solution to everything. And look, in a lot of ways, the technology is genuinely exciting. Nobody's denying that. But living with one day today in the real world turned out to be a lot more complicated than the commercials ever admitted. And the cracks have been showing for a while now. Start with charging. The ad makes it look effortless. You pull up, you plug in, you're done. The reality on an actual road trip is that even the best fast chargers available today still means sitting and waiting 20 to 40 minutes just to crawl back up to 80%. That's not a gas station stop. That's a full meal. That's an episode of something. A minor annoyance on a solo drive that becomes a genuine nightmare with 2 kids screaming in the back seat and a schedule you're already late for. Then there's cold weather, which somehow never makes it into the brochure. EV batteries are sensitive to low temperatures, and when it drops below freezing, most electric vehicles lose somewhere between 30 and 40% of their advertised range. So the 300-mile range you paid $60,000 for, on a cold January morning in Michigan, it's 180. The math turns on you fast and it doesn't turn back. And the battery itself degrades over time, just like the one in your phone. And when it finally needs replacing, the bill can land anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 or more. That's not a repair. That's a number that can wipe out years of fuel savings in a single afternoon at the dealership. Now stack on the bigger picture that almost never makes the ad. The lithium, the cobalt, the nickel these batteries demand, the massive open pit mines, the environmental disruption, and in the case of cobalt specifically, serious, well-documented human rights concerns in the regions where it's dug out of the ground. These aren't fringe talking points. They're ongoing documented problems the industry is still wrestling with. And on top of all of it, the US electrical grid was never built to handle tens of millions of cars charging at once. The Department of Energy has been raising that exact flag for years. Here's the thing. None of this means electric cars are bad. They have a real future. But for hundreds of millions of people right now, today, an EV isn't a seamless upgrade. It's a trade-off. It's a compromise dressed up as progress. So here's the question nobody in Detroit or Tokyo was really asking. What if somebody stopped begging everyone to rewire their entire lives and instead just squeezed so much efficiency out of a normal engine that the old rules simply stopped applying? Geely set out to answer a question nobody in Detroit or Tokyo was asking. What if someone squeezed so much efficiency out of a normal engine that the old rules stopped applying? At the April 2026 Beijing Auto Show, they announced the IHEV intelligent hybrid system with the BHE15, a 1.5L four-cylinder engine achieving 48.4% thermal efficiency, certified by Guinness World Records as the highest ever for a mass-produced car engine. The average American engine converts 30 to 35% of fuel, energy into motion. Toyota's legendary hybrid sits at 41%, and Formula One engines run at about 50%, meaning Geely's production engine is within 2 percentage points of F1 technology. They paired it with a 308 horsepower electric motor and AI energy management, testing the Geely Galaxy M8 sedan on a closed circuit to achieve 2.62 L per 100 kilometer, or 106 miles per gallon, also verified by Guinness. A 15-gallon tank at 106 MPG delivers roughly 1,590 miles, enough to drive from Los Angeles to Denver and most of the way back, beating Toyota's 92.9 MPG Prius coast to coast, run by more than 12% with a production sedan. Chinese automakers made rapid advances as a bloc, with BYD hitting 46.06% thermal efficiency and hybrids traveling over 1,300 miles on one tank and charge, Leap motor achieving 45%, and Chang'an, SAIC, GAC, Sherry, and Great Wall all releasing vehicles with 2,000-plus kilometer ranges within 18 months. Meanwhile, Toyota and Honda's best hybrids still sit at 41%, while Ford, GM, and Stellantis largely run engines below 35%. This is a generational leap, not a small disadvantage. Geely's technology is being folded into Volvo's roadmap, will reach European vehicles within years, and American dealerships through familiar brands before this decade ends. A 106 MPG hybrid means filling up monthly instead of weekly, no charger hunting, no rewiring, and no $10,000 battery. Replacement, making it more practical for cold climates and small towns. However, it still burns fuel and produces emissions. Real-world driving will lower that number, and Guinness is not an independent automotive regulator. Toyota, Honda, and Ford are not standing still, but the achievement stands. A farmer's son who borrowed $3,000, made refrigerator parts, and was laughed at for daring to build cars just produced the most fuel-efficient production engine in history. The future of driving was decided in China, and now every automaker must figure out how to respond.